Hey TMFG community, John Yonge here with Carlo Cancino. In today's episode of Ask TMFG, we're going to be taking a look at GICs and specifically where they could or most likely could not be benefiting you. Remember, if you do enjoy our content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We love doing these videos for you. In today's episode of Ask TMFG, we're going to be taking a look at GICs. And specifically, we've been getting a lot of feedback from clients that have been interested in the high rates that are out there and seeing it as a viable investment product. But we've also run into a lot of issues that some of our clients have had. So I guess to get us started with some of those issues, I'll hand it over to Carlos.
Thanks, John. Yes, GICs. You're hearing about it every day. It's in your face. It's online. Higher rates. Well, at least higher rates than what we've seen over the last number of years. And we're getting a lot of questions. Should we be putting money into GICs? And, our position has never changed. GICs, we don't believe, are the best investment for clients long-term. And as you're going to find out in this video, they're not great short-term either. Mm-hmm. And so a couple of the disadvantages that we've talked about is obviously interest rate. Although they seem high and maybe higher than what Bank of Canada is saying of what inflation is. Yep. Inflation may be down at 3.3 as of July, but nobody's feeling that. It's not on the things that we use on a daily basis: groceries, fuel, materials to update your home. Inflation is still into the double digits on many of those important things. So that's one, not keeping up with inflation. Number two, and in this scenario I want to focus on, is the lack of liquidity. Yep. So I have a client who allocated a significant amount of money into GICs because they were going to use it for a specific purpose. They were going to build a home, but that expenditure wasn't going to occur for the next 18 months, or so they thought. So they were living in a rental, trying to determine where they wanted to live, where they wanted to spend the rest of their retirement. And so they were taking the next 12 to 18 months to determine that. Well, what has happened is their landlord has talked about wanting to sell their property, and now they're left in a jam. They have to make a decision and need the funds to purchase a property or start building their dream home. Mm-hmm. They're not prepared for that, but have now a time crunch. So the issue is they need the funds to either purchase or start building that home. We cannot break the GICs because they're not under financial hardship and neither has passed away. So that money is unavailable for the next 12 months. So what do? Well, they're going to have to get into the mortgage market and borrow at higher rates just to be able to close that house. If we had put that money into the market or into something that had a little more liquidity, we wouldn't be in this position and having to make decisions that may not be in their best interest.
So you did mention that there are other alternatives that are out there, and specifically one of the biggest issues with GICs being the lack of liquidity. So why don't you tell our viewers about some of those alternatives and what they could have been doing with their money instead?
Well, number one, if it is a short-term need and you don't want to have any volatility with the capital, there are money market instruments, high interest in investment accounts that are available that you can put your money in. Capital will be preserved and you'll get a higher rate than what we're paying on a typical bank account. So that's one. Secondly, you could just put the funds into your market-based portfolio. It will provide the liquidity, although there might be short-term volatility. If you can take that on, you have the opportunity to take that money whenever you need it.
Yeah, and our general advice always goes back to what's the time horizon? If we're looking for a long-term time horizon, absolutely the markets are a better place to be. If we're still on a short-term time horizon, we've been directing clients more to a high interest savings account just because of that flexibility. And you may be losing fractions of a percent in terms of rate of return, but you have liquidity. Oftentimes people hear the high interest savings account and they've been burned by that before, where a high interest savings account only paid about 1%. Now that could be up over 5%. So put your money into a high interest savings account, prioritize the liquidity, have that money available to you, and be able to use it for what you want to down the road. Well, there you have it. There's a couple key points as to why GICs probably wouldn't be the best scenario and option out there for you. I mean, if you have questions regarding it, we're here, and feel free to let us know and ask questions. Also, let us know down in the comment section below, have you been investing in GICs and have you fallen into one of these traps where you're not able to get your money out of them? But that's been another episode of Ask TMFG for today. Remember, if you do enjoy our content, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm John Yonge.
I'm Carlo Cancino.
And this has been
Ask TMFG.